Hi friends, I'm Kat. Welcome to my channel and today's video, which is going to be a TBR for the month of May. So I'm getting back into TBRs. We're doing them monthly now. We're gonna see how far this goes, aka how long I still want to do these before inevitably I stop doing TBRs and get bored of them. But we're gonna try. I'm trying to honestly just have them to keep my reading a little bit more structured, because one of my major goals for this year is, of course, to finish off series and to, stay a bit more on top of that. So I think if I actually the series that I'm trying to complete, if I start planning it so that monthly I'm reading one per month or something like that, maybe it will actually happen. So today I think we have about 8 books to talk about, 8 or 9. I do have a few rollovers from last month, a few new releases, and just a few other things that are, again, series continuations. So welcome to the channel. If you haven't already, I would love if you would consider subscribing, and let's just get into this. So first, let's talk about the rollovers that I had from last month. Wow. I have 4 of them that I didn't complete, which ends up being 4 out of the 8 books I said in my TBR that are done. We're not done. I'm kind of debating if I want to do some kind of penalization for myself if I don't read things on my TBR. I also kind of wanted to come up with some kind of game idea for reading to kind of gamify how I'm doing it and how I'm selecting things off the TBR. But so if you have any suggestions for that, let me know. But first off, things that are now getting rolled over. So Sunrise on the Reaping. This is the newest Hunger Games book. Really wanted to get to it. I'm honestly so ridiculously excited about this one, but at the same time I would say that I am intensely intimidated by it, in the fact that I know this is going to be an emotional read, and that I know I'm going to very quickly go down a rabbit hole where this kind of consumes every one of my thoughts, and I'm not really sure if I'm necessarily ready for that. There is a part of me thinks I am 100% ready and 100% on board, but also oof, am I really emotionally ready? I don't know. So I've been wanting to pick this up such an insane level. I keep putting it off because I'm scared. I'm very scared. I don't know if I'm actually ready. But yeah, excited. I truly cannot wait to get to this. So it will happen this month. It has to. I can't really put that one off again. One that I've started, and I'm only, to be fair, about 7% into it, is Dead House Gates by Steven Erikson, book 2 in the Malazan series. This is one that again, I'm a bit intimidated by it. It is a very dense sci-fi read. Not sci-fi, fantasy read. I read the first book in this series a few months ago, and I really want to continue on in the Malazan books and keep them relatively close together so that I don't forget too many details. But at the same time, I've heard that this one has a lot of differences from the first one. It's a different setting, different characters. So I don't know if I even need to do that necessarily. But anyway, I am hoping to get to this one soon, because I want to keep reading these and really ultimately decide if I want to continue on in the series. I think I'm going to give solid effort of I think 4 books in the Malazan world before I decide whether or not I'm going to give up on it or something. But I am very excited because I have heard again, so many people rave about how good Malazan is ultimately. So I really want to see if that will end up following through for me as well. So yeah, Dead House Gate, don't really know the plot of it, but book 2 in this Malazan world. It's about a huge empire at war. Next, we have Tiamat's Wrath by James S. A. Corey, book 8 in the Expanse series. This is a huge expansive sci-fi series that is basically following a freight of workers on this hauling ship, and now they're involved in this huge intergalactic war, and really all of these intense politics that are going on, and potential aliens and all of these things. Great series. Love this one. Genuinely every book in it has been a 5-star for me. I just kind of am out of the sync of reading them. The final 3 books in this, they follow basically our characters in a new story arc 20 years after the 6th book. So going into book 6, even though it was really good, it was a little jarring to see how different things are. So I've been putting off going into this one a little bit just because of that, because I feel I'm kind of out of sync with the excitement of the story. It's just a whole new story arc, so I feel I am not as invested as I necessarily was. But again, really excited to get to it. I listened to these ones too on audio, so I just kind of need to make more time to actually focus on them. And then final carryover is A Closed and Common Orbit by Becky Chambers. This is book 2 in a very cozy sci-fi series about a group of not explorers, but they are, I want to say, miners who travel between, basically are hired to create these vortexes between different planets, and doing so basically creates passage between all of these different areas within the galaxy. Really loved book 1. Book 2 I'm excited for. I think it's going to be beautiful. It just I've just been kind of putting it off because I don't know, I know I'm gonna love it. I just haven't bothered to pick this one up yet, but really excited. We're following slightly still the same characters, but kind of an offshoot of one of them, and yeah, we'll see. I'm excited. And now the new books, the TBR. So this isn't the actual one. I did read this one, but book 2 in this series, which is called City of Blades, would love to get to. Again, continuing series. series. Let's really focus on this. Let's actually try to make progress. This one is about a world. So we're following a young woman. She was a junior diplomat sent by the oppressors of this one city, but unofficially she's there as one of her country's most accomplished spies to solve a murder. And she starts to pursue a killer. She starts to suspect that the beings who ruled this place may not be as dead as they seem, aka the gods who once ruled this world, and that the cruel reign may not be over. I enjoyed this one. It was like a fun mystery to follow. Yeah, I definitely enjoyed this one quite a bit. So I'm excited to continue on in this world. This is kind of like, this is good too, because I have had very mixed feelings on Robert Jackson Bennett. I'm very happy to say that this one is kind of reaffirming that I actually like his writing. So City of Blades, I think we're just going to be very much continuing on in that story, continuing on in the possible, you know, return of gods within this world, and continuing to unravel all of these potential mysteries. Death's End is the book 3 in the 3-body problem series, which is technically called Remembrance of Earth's Past. This is a sci-fi series about an alien species who is potentially coming to invade Earth, and all of the different things that are happening on Earth to mitigate this and to try and stop this from happening. Really, really interesting series. Some of the most random and weird sci-fi things that I've ever seen in books, and like, I mean that in the best possible way, because it is just such a unique series, and so many weird things happen. Really excited for this one. And one thing that I really like is that we're following like wildly different timelines for these. Like book 2 took place like 200 years after the fact of like what the modern, well, it took place across 200 years, I guess. And I think this one is kind of similar, where it takes place like across like hundreds of years too. So in this one, we have an uneasy balance between the humanity and the alien invaders. And it seems like the two civilizations are learning to coexist, but the truce has also made humanity complacent. So we have an aerospace engineer from the 21st century. She awakens from hibernation in a new age where people have kind of reached this peace. So 21st century is when the war was beginning to happen between them. She brings knowledge of a long forgotten program dating from the beginning of the crisis, and her very presence may upset the delicate balance between the two worlds. Will humanity reach for the stars or die in its cradle? Very, very excited to see how this concludes. Just really, really interesting sci-fi shit that I've like never seen before, never thought of, and just a lot of ideas about different alien things. So fun, so good. Beautiful Nightmares by KJ Sutton. This is the 4th book in a fantasy romance series. This one is gigantic, but we're basically following Fortuna, who is a nightmare. So she's able to kind of like get into people's minds and access their darkest fears and kind of turn them against them and make them like kind of live out their darkest fears. And she has inadvertently become the queen of the Fae in this world, and we're just following her through many different journeys and adventures that she's going on, and her romances. I enjoy this series quite a bit. I've been kind of continuing or trying to catch up on it. So I just finished 3 last month, and now jumping into book 4 because again, continuing series. Golden Fool. Actually, I own a copy of this. This is one of the like shittiest fantasy covers I've ever seen, and I love it. I like, if you didn't know, I tend to try to collect like really old shitty book copies of fantasy books that I love. Like just all of these like really like 90s aesthetic covers. I try to get as many of them as I can secondhand. So this is book 2 in a series. It is book 2, so multiple series within this world. This is book 2 in the 3rd series within the world. Confusing. So we're following the character of Fitz, who was the main character in the 1st series, the Royal Assassin series, and we're following him as he is, I guess this takes place like 20 years after the fact, where he is trying to get away from court life, get away from this assassin life, but unfortunately gets drawn back in with a mission that he cannot quite turn down. And now because of this, he is being fully brought back into the court life, back into potentially an assassin, and just really once again getting very invested in everything that is going on in this world. And even though he wants to have like a very quiet, peaceful life, he is quickly learning that that is not quite what is in fate for him. I'd say, so overall, I do enjoy Robin Hobb's books quite a bit. This series is not necessarily my favorite. I did not enjoy the 1st book in it a crazy amount. I thought it kind of boring, but still excited to get to it. Fitz is not necessarily my favorite character, and to really enjoy these books, you really have to be invested in his journey, which I'm not necessarily, but still excited to see where it goes. I'm going to try to get to the Dragon Republic by R.F. Kuang. This is book 2 in the Popubor series, which is basically just a really intense war, and we're following a main character as she just commits a ton of war crimes and just does really heinous shit within this world. Loved it. Loved 1st book. Book 1, amazing. Really excited to see where this one goes. Really fantastic book. One of my top 10 that I read last year, and yeah, just really want to keep going on in this series and see where it happens to go. And then I have 2 new releases that that I would really like to get to. So The Devils by Joe Abercrombie. He is another one of my favorite authors, and he's coming out with one where it seems like it is a priest who is leading a group of morally corrupt, I think, mercenaries as they complete a mission. This sounds amazing. Sounds fantastic. He does like grimdark, morally corrupt characters the best possible way. And I have already pre-ordered this one, so I am really planning on trying to get to it like as quickly as possible. And then Rewind It Back by Liz Tomford is one that I definitely will be picking up as soon as it comes out as well. This is book 5 in her Windy City series, which is a group of interconnected romances all taking place in Chicago and following different athletes who live there. And I know that we are following a character who I've really enjoyed in the past, and he has been a recurring character throughout all of her other books. So I'm really excited to finally see him get his own story and his own love as well. So that was very quickly all the books I want to read this month. I'm definitely gonna be reading more. I tend to aim for about 30 books a month, which is a bit excessive, sure, but also I'm a quick reader, so it doesn't really matter. And yeah, I'll definitely be reading a lot more, but I'm trying to set only 8 to 10 books on a set TBR, so that way I still have a ton of flexibility to read what I want. And yeah, let me know if you have any ideas for potential games I could do for this, or punishments I could set myself for, you know, not completing my TBR every month. And thank you for watching today. And if you haven't already, I would love if you would consider subscribing, and hopefully I will see you in a video soon. Bye.